I watched every Jeff Nipard video so you don't have to. As a huge fan of Jeff Nipard, I've spent a ton of time watching his YouTube videos to learn everything I can about getting the best results at the gym. He's a Canadian fitness expert known for using real science to back up his advice, and his videos cover just about everything a gym lover could want to know. But with so much information, it's really hard to know what's the most important advice. That's why I've done the hard work for you. I've watched countless hours of his content and pinpointed the 4 pieces of advice he emphasizes the most often. These are the key steps that he believes will really help you reach your fitness goals faster. The stable exercises. Think about it like this. Imagine moving a heavy couch with your friends. It feels super tough, right? But is it just the weight? Not always. If the couch is wobbly and uneven, it's hard to get a good grip and push together. The same thing happens with exercises. If you're wobbly or unstable, you can't push as hard, because some of the energy goes into staying balanced. That's why Jeff sometimes calls these exercises junk volume. You can't reach your full potential on those muscles.
This is fine enough, and it will work your chest. However, the extra balance that you need to stay on the bench means you won't be able to load the pecs as effectively.
But wait, not all unstable exercises are actually bad. They can actually train your stabilizer muscles, which are tiny helpers that keep your body strong and coordinated. These are very important for activities like playing sports or just moving around safely. So what's the key takeaway? Focus on stable exercises where you can really push yourself close to failure. That's where you'll see the most gains.
Creates a better mind-muscle connection with the pecs than almost any other movement, because you don't have to worry about stabilizing, and so you can focus all your attention on engaging the pecs. Now, obviously, this is a bit of a catch-22, as the lack of stabilization means that other smaller stabilizing muscles won't be as active.
Unstable exercises can still be a good addition to your routine to build those stabilizer muscles. Structured plan. The cornerstone of any effective routine is prioritizing rest. New lifters eager to see results often fall to prey to no rest, all grind mentality.
So only about 20% of my workout was lifting and 80% was resting. Now, I may rest a little bit longer than some, but I can guarantee that most people will find that at least half their time in the gym is spent resting in between sets. This tells us that if we want to make our workouts faster, an obvious solution would be to use shorter rest periods. But there's a problem with this. Research shows that shorter rest periods tend to be worse for hypertrophy because you can't fully recover in between sets. So resting 1 to 4 minutes between sets is the typical science-based recommendation. However, there is evidence showing that if you gradually reduce your rest periods over time, you can still maximize hypertrophy because your cardiovascular endurance will improve, allowing you to recover faster in between sets.
However, neglecting rest periods between sets hinders muscle recovery, compromising performance and potentially leading to injuries. A sweet spot for recovery is about 2 to 3 minutes between sets, allowing your muscles to recharge and unleash their full potential in the next round. Beyond rest, finding the optimal number of sets is crucial for maximizing gains.
It pretty much just means that more volume causes more hypertrophy. If you increase the dose, you increase the response. However, there's also clearly a point of diminishing returns, where you can keep doing more volume, but you'll see very little extra progress for it. And we don't know exactly where that point is, and maybe we never will because it's so individual, but for most people and most muscles, it's probably somewhere between 10 to 20 tough sets, or working sets, per muscle per week.
With a soft limit of 6 sets per muscle per session. Imagine your muscles as sponges. Squeezing them dry with excessive sets and you risk injury. Conversely, provide insufficient stimulation, do a few sets, and growth stagnates. Key is to find the balance that effectively squeezes the muscles, promoting growth without compromising their well-being. While the passion of pushing yourself to the limit in every workout is undeniable, Jeff advises against the no pain, no gain approach.
For me, only about 30% of my training is taken to failure. I usually do 3 sets per exercise, and I'll take the last set all the way to failure. In my first 2 sets, I leave 1 or 2 reps in the tank. Keep in mind, 1 or 2 reps in the tank is still very hard training. I see people leaving 10 plus reps in the tank all the time at my gym, even serious dedicated bodybuilders.
He emphasizes that mostly a few sets should be taken to failure. Concrete workout plan empowers you to track progress, identify what works for your body, and to make adjustments as you need. Think of it as a map. It reveals your path, allowing you to strategically plan your next move for continuous improvement. Furthermore, structured plans aid in progressive overload, a concept crucial for long-term gains.
To build bigger muscles, we need to give them a good reason to grow. If we keep doing the exact same thing week after week and month after month, our muscle growth will fairly quickly plateau. So to keep things progressing, you need to apply the progressive overload principle, where you aim to increase some training variable from week to week.
Remember, even the most dedicated gym bros can't take too much punishment. Research suggests diminishing returns on muscle building after 6 sets per muscle group, as said before.
The impact of adding sets on hypertrophy. As you can see in the graph here, up to around 6 sets per muscle, we see a pretty clear benefit in terms of muscle growth, but once you go above 6 sets, you hit a pretty hard plateau and maybe even regress a bit.
Finally, Jeff also outlines the most optimal workout plans.
Following a more science-based training split. That could be a push-pull-leg split, or an upper-lower split, or even a full-body split. I think that those are all better options for the vast majority of people, again, because they allow for a more even distribution of your volume across your body, and they're less likely to lead to so-called junk volume.
Each structure offers sufficient recovery time, ensuring you approach each session feeling energized and ready to conquer your goals. So, a quick recap. Create a structured plan that has 10 to 20 sets per week per muscle, try to aim for 6 sets per training, include enough rest, and you're good to go. Range of motion. Jeff actually recently changed his mind on the technique. He used to advocate for full range of motion in all his exercises. However, current focus has shifted towards maintaining muscle tension throughout the exercise.
So, perhaps unsurprisingly, I do find myself more on the science side of this debate. I think that as a general rule of thumb, training with a full range of motion all the time will get you better results than training through a partial range of motion all the time. But luckily, in the real world, our advice doesn't have to be quite that black and white, and I think we'll get our best results when we borrow the best of the wisdom both sides have to offer. 2 studies showing that on this exact exercise, the bottom half of the curl is the most anabolic part of the range of motion. So if you're cutting out the bottom part, I would say that you're missing out on some potential gains. In fact, whenever I do preacher curls these days, I just stay in the bottom half the entire time.
Jeff believes that both full and partial reps have their place in an effective workout routine. He emphasizes the importance of achieving and maintaining muscle tension throughout the movement, regardless of whatever the full ROM is achieved. This approach might differ from some strictly focused coaches who prioritize perfect technique over achieving muscle tension. This approach might not be suitable for everyone. For some beginners, it's crucial to emphasize proper form. That's why it's best to consult with a professional before you start this kind of training. The bodybuilding method. Jeff has a full video on this topic, and I think this is the most important video in his collection. It's all about how to train for pure muscle growth. He says that tension is the most important factor for muscle growth and introduces 4 principles to achieve that. First is the bodybuilding technique. This includes using a controlled tempo, 2 to 4 seconds negative, and a full range of motion, with some exceptions, to maximize tension on the targeted muscle. Effort. Push each set close to failure, but not necessarily to the point where you can't do another rep. Jeff recommends taking the last set to failure and leaving 1 to 2 reps in the tank for most other sets. Progressive overload. Gradually increase the difficulty of your workout over the time by adding weights, reps, or improving your technique. Choose high tension exercises. Focus on exercises that place a lot of tension on the target muscles, such as machines and cable exercises. These tend to have a high stimulus to fatigue ratio, meaning they maximize muscle growth without requiring too much recovery time. For the end, I'd like to share with you additional tips that will help you in your progress. Warm up and cool down. Never underestimate the importance of a proper warm up to prepare your body for exercise and a cool down to aid recovery. Listen to your body. Don't be afraid to adjust weights, sets, reps, or even take rest days when needed. Pushing through pain can lead to injuries and hindering progress. Be patient. Write it down. This can be through a workout log, photos, videos, or however you want. Seek professional guidance. If you're new to exercise, have any pre-existing injuries, or simply want a personalized advice, consider consulting with a certified personal trainer. They can create a program tailored to your specific needs and goals, ensuring you train safely and effectively. Remember, consistency is key. Sticking to your plan even when motivation dips, it's crucial for achieving fitness goals. Don't be afraid to experiment, find what works best for you, and most importantly, enjoy the process. Okay, so this is all for today. Thank you for watching, guys. Leave a like and subscribe. Thank you. See you in the next video.